For all the times people hated on the Wii for being a candy-coated bullcrap machine that could barely put out Hello Kitty adventures, sometimes it put out games that downright surprised me. The most surprising of which was No More Heroes, a game by Suda51. It also had a sequel. I want to talk about that next week, and well, to fully understand my hatred of No More Heroes 2, you need to understand my love of No More Heroes.
Pen Made Mightier without roids.
No More Heroes is a game created by Suda51. Basically the Quentin Tarantino of video games, in the fact that he only puts out one game every 5 years. And while they're all really good, there's sometimes a fatal flaw. No More Heroes wasn't that. It was basically his Pulp Fiction, in my personal opinion. No More Heroes is an action slasher, life sim, wrestling, lightsaber game for the Wii, and it is packed to the brim with suggestive comment and crude themes. Just like a Tarantino movie. It also likes to cut people in half and spray their blood everywhere while cursing as loud as possible. Just like the Tarantino movie. There's a lot of parallels to be drawn, and you could even say that it's partially modeled after Tarantino's style, but it doesn't change the fact that this game was captivating, riveting, and a hell of a lot of fun. In the game, you play a protagonist known as Travis Touchdown, a degenerate bum who lives in a motel, drives a plastic-coated moped around. Yeah, it's a moped. Check the production notes. The moped. It's not a motorcycle. Everyone keeps saying it's a motorcycle. It's a moped. Look it up. It's a moped. Travis Touchdown's ultimate goal? To take his Bloody Berry, his knockoff lightsaber or beam katana, and use it to kill the top 11 assassins in order to gain carnal pleasures with a woman named Sylvia Crystal. Because Travis is a pretty base, dopey idiot. The fights are dynamic and interesting, and with the Wiimote Nunchuck combo, you actually kinda end up feeling like you're doing lightsaber combat. They even worked in a mechanic where you had to hold it upright or lower down to change stances, which means that the combat had a fantastic flow, and you actually felt like your positioning mattered, without it being the normal, weird motion controls that just didn't work. All the motion controls here worked in a fantastic way, be it from wrestling moves to just slashing the crap out of your opponents. I really can't think of a control that didn't work well, except for maybe the Kamehameha waves that you can shoot in some of your power-up moments. Over the course of this game, Travis Touchdown hunts down each assassin, one after the other, while performing menial tasks in the meantime, like mowing yards or performing sick jumps off the pier to earn cash. And he uses that cash to pay for his next fight so that he can go kill an assassin, so that he can earn some more cash, so that he can kill the next assassin, and on it goes. An endless bloodbath. Just like a Tarantino movie. Okay, I'm gonna stop, seriously. Many people look at the bosses of this game and say that they're so random, and that they just don't make any sense, and that they just have no bearing on the plot. And they could not be more wrong. Each of the bosses in this game means something, and they inform us as to Travis's character. It's just more subtle than people are used to. It doesn't spell itself out in huge dialogue things like Mass Effect's Codex entry, and it doesn't blatantly spell everything out for you in giant CG cutscenes with orchestra done by John Williams. Instead, it chooses to sort of analyze his reactions with other people and expect you, the audience, to be able to infer a little bit about his character. And that's what makes Travis Touchdown so compelling. So, I'm going to break it down real quick. We're going to go through the 11 bosses of No More Heroes. I'm going to break down who they are, how they fought, and what they mean to Travis overall, so that we can learn a bit about his character. I'm also going to discuss why the ending we ended up with. I don't think that's the ending that Suda51 had in mind when he originally pitched this game. The first of the 11 bosses isn't actually a boss you ever fight. His name is Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter is killed during the preview trailer / the opening of the game. He's a dude with long white hair, some form-fitting outfits, and it kind of looks like a cross between Dante from Devil May Cry and Sephiroth, and that's not accidental. You see, the series creator was tired of big-budget titles at the time, and he was tired of the boring action dynamics that we had come to expect, because every action title played the same and they had stopped pushing their limits in favor of tapping A bunch of times. So his first action here in defiance was to have Travis Touchdown cut this dude in half to show that this is not going to be your typical action fighting game. It also creatively introduces super weapons to let you know that each of these characters here is going to have some sort of fantastical element to them. Helter Skelter himself has guns that can fire barrages of lasers, and Travis himself has the Bloody Berry, I believe is the name of his first beam katana. And beyond that, he has an aura, a force about him that can let him endure more than the average man and fight back harder than your average man. That's what makes him a good assassin. And it's a key, important, and often overlooked point of the game. The first assassin that you really fight is Death Metal, a red-haired Yakuza type who's covered in tattoos and carries a giant beam katana. This also shows that Travis's weapon is not unique, but rather just something that's kind of rare. Something you see with the best of the best. Kind of establishes Travis's weapon as not just something he bought off eBay. Well, I mean, he did just buy it off eBay, but your average man wouldn't just buy something like this off eBay. You gotta be cool. Through Travis's reactions as he talks to Death Metal, he says that he doesn't care about titles. He cares about paradise, which is really just sort of code for Travis saying that he doesn't care about the long term. He cares about the here and now. He wants to fight people who are better than him. He wants to eat good food. He wants to rent naughty videos, and he wants to sleep with Sylvia Crystal because he is completely focused in the here and now and does not care what tomorrow brings. This is even further established after he beats Death Metal because he hasn't thought about what it means to have killed a top-ranked assassin. He even accuses Sylvia Crystal of setting him up and saying that he now has no way out. If you listen carefully during his fight with Death Metal, he even says that he needs to find the exit and can't find a way out. It's very hidden, and you've got to listen real carefully during his dialogue during the fight in order to understand it. Part of that is because the game plays on a cycle. After you beat the end of the game, you come back and can play again. And Travis is stuck in an endless cycle of death, murder, and viscera. Just like a Tarantino movie! After this, Travis Touchdown heads to the baseball stadium to fight a man named Dr. Peace. Dr. Peace carries around golden revolvers and can shoot bullets that go through anything. It's weird. Beyond that, he's this interesting character who can traffic drugs and arms to all sorts of people and is estranged from his daughter, who apparently is fond of rap music. In this, they depict Travis's murder as a literal sport, using his lightsaber, beam katana, to knock baseballs through foes, and fighting Dr. Peace on a pitcher's mound, playing a catch-and-return game to murder a man. But Travis is obviously a bit distraught by this, because despite the fact that he is treating it literally like a game, he is sad that a girl was left without her father. And Sylvia kind of points this out at him, calling him a hypocrite. But Travis, well, he just shakes it off and pretends not to care anymore, because that's who Travis Touchdown is. After this, Travis's next fight takes him to a local high school, where he fights a girl named Shinobu. Shinobu is powerful, and she is a truly trained samurai who can sling energy out of her sword in sonic waves. This establishes that you aren't going to be fighting normal people from here on out. And beyond that, it establishes that people with beam katanas are often highly ranked killers. Shinobu's father, who would obviously be a better fighter than her because he helped train her, was killed by a man with a beam katana. She assumes that it's Travis. And during their fight, Travis takes her arm, but he spares her life. Part of this is because Travis doesn't like hurting girls, but mostly it's the fact that she's a kid, and he doesn't want to take away that potential from her, especially since she also lost her father. You noticing a theme here? A lot of people overlook it. Next, we head to a local TV studio, where he ends up fighting his way through tons of thugs and backlot after backlot after backlot before coming to a bloody green screen room with a man who is dressed as a postal worker, seemingly peaceful and gentle giant. The screen shakes when it gets too close. The man turns on Travis, betrays him, and absolutely tries to murder the crap out of him with lasers, giant balls of energy, and electric shock grabs. It shows that even the classical hero in this world is absolutely no hero, that nobody is to be trusted. Not the gentle giant, not the man in the cape. All that matters here is strength. It also establishes that special effects, they aren't going to save you in a real fight, and Travis has no pity on cheaters. After this, Travis heads down to the beach, after a brief interchange with Sylvia Crystal, where they further their cat and mouse back and forth. He heads down the beach, wandering through explosives and minefields, to get to a woman named Holly Summers. Holly Summers is a supermodel who has lost her leg and fights with an array of missiles, grenades, and, explosives. He continues to fight against this literal bombshell until he finally bests her. However, it is then revealed that Travis has that same weakness. He doesn't want to hurt a woman. He's a hypocrite in that way, and he absolutely diminishes her strength. So, she admits that she has a fondness for stupid men like him, puts a grenade in her mouth, and takes her own life because she has been bested in combat and wants to have that honorable samurai tradition carry on. Travis is dumbfounded by this, and he feels immediately ashamed that he looked down on her simply because of her sex. He embraces her body, learns her name, and buries her, saying that he loved her soul. It shows that while Travis pretends to live vapid, while Travis pretends to care about nothing more than, the lesser parts of humanity, he's deep. He just doesn't want to be seen that way. But what kind of man would have that kind of sensitive side of him hidden away? And why would you keep it hidden away? Because Travis is way more complex than people let on. I really get caught up in how good No More Heroes is. I thought I was going to be able to do this in 1 week, but it's something that's going to take 2. So, next week, let's talk about why the rest of No More Heroes is so good. Let's look at where Travis's character goes from here, and analyze who he is as a person as he takes on the remaining assassins. Thank you for sticking with me this week on Pen Made Mightier. If you liked the episode, share it around. And join me here next week to find out why Travis Touchdown is still one of my favorite video game characters of all time. Bye now.
Pen made mightier without royalty.